Cell phones, computers, robots, spaceships, automobiles, skyscrapers, microwave ovens, X-ray machines, and all the other technologies and stuff that's all around us, including a great pair of headphones. Where does all this stuff come from? Well, it all comes ultimately from the ground. Think about it. This cell phone and all of its parts were once buried in the ground. This car and all of its parts were originally in the ground. In fact, everything from buildings to every product on the shelves of Walmart originally came from the ground. You see, inside of these rocks and the dirt that we dig up are things called elements. Elements like steel, gold, nitrogen, and silver, just to name a few. I know what you're thinking. Elements like oxygen don't come from the ground. They come from the air. But actually, oxygen, it's produced by certain types of bacteria, algae, plants, and trees, and these do come from the ground. Elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, when mixed together the right way, will make plastic. Or the elements silicon, sodium, lead, calcium, and potassium, when you mix those together, they make glass. Science has discovered 118 elements. You can see all these elements in something called the periodic table of elements. And out of just these 118 elements comes everything. When I was about 10 years old, I remember my parents bought me something called an erector set. Now this was really cool because inside the box were about 125 different parts. And from these 125 parts, I could create just about anything. What's really interesting is our planet is like that erector set box, because inside this box we call Earth are 118 parts or elements. And it's from just these 118 elements we created all of this. But let's go back in time before all the technologies we have now, when there was only this. 5,000 years ago, who would have ever guessed that all this technology was already in the ground? But nobody knew it. But scientists over many years discovered the elements and how to create things like glass, metal, and plastic from the elements. And it's from glass, metals, and plastics, and other materials that we create things like our automobiles and cell phones. Even materials like wood that we use to create homes and buildings comes from the ground. But who are the people who take the elements and the materials that come from the elements and design and invent all the technologies we have? Some of the names we call these people are inventor, mechanic, architect, carpenter, builder, programmer, machinist, and engineer. But there's one important word that describes them all. They're all innovators. Innovators are people who take what science discovers and they create the future. The future is created by innovators, and the world needs innovators just like you.